Alright, hello everyone. Excited to be back at another pace with some more 2D Mario action. Kicking it back into the retro scene with the SMB2 that we didn't receive here. So, on the FDS, this was the original SMB2 in Japan. We obviously got the one with veggies and stuff, and you know, this game has notorious difficult stuff, and I'm going to be playing every stage. I know we're all excited for the Mario 64 coming up after this, but I got to beat 52 stages of this game first, so. And yes, 52 stages, so. They really put a lot of stuff in this game, and it's all difficult, so I have to try to beat it all here. And luckily, there are some really unique strats in this run that aren't in the original game, so it'll make it a little more interesting. But yeah, I'll try to keep it. I'll be fairly quiet during the levels because there's a lot of stuff I need to focus on, but I'll try to explain what I'm doing in between each level because there's a pretty big time frame of me not doing anything during that time. So, all right, let's go ahead and get things started here if everyone's ready on time. In 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, 1-1 is immediately actually a really hard stage. So I will be doing some safer strats right off the bat. It might not look safe, but it is. And I'm gonna take the time to get this mushroom. It actually, you saw the mushroom bounced in the air there. That's actually because I hit the star block and it like kept the animation from the star bounce. It carried over to the mushroom. It's really weird that it does that, but the only reason I'm getting the mushroom here is there's actually a fun clip I can do here in 1-2. It's very precise, but hopefully I can get it because it would look cool and funny. And actually does save time in the route. Oh yeah. Alright. So far so good. Got to show off the first fun thing in the run, and there's plenty more where that came from, so don't worry. But yeah, other than that clip, 1-2 is not very notable. So I'll be picking up the Fire Flower in 1-3, and getting Fire Flower for warpless runs of these original 2D Mario games is always faster. Killing Bowser skips an animation every time. Like, instead of the bridge collapsing under him, you just trigger the, like, Mario walking to Toad instantly. And then Fire obviously makes things a lot easier. That hit me? That's crazy. Oh, and there goes my jump. So anyway, Lost Levels is hard. I was trying to get a super bounce off that Koopa there because actually the physics in this game are different than in SMB1. See, Mario just kind of goes flying. But it's okay because I can actually get a Fire Flower in 1-4 and we'll be back on track. Something else I have to remember is my coin count. So you see I have 19 right there. If I ended the timer where the last digit was a 9, I'd actually get fireworks. For an odd number, it'd be 3. For an even number, it'd be 6. And that is slow. So we don't want that. Now, I'll go. I haven't picked up this Fire Flower in a while, but it's kind of in an inconvenient position, so you kind of have to go out of the way to get speed and grab it. And then just gotta navigate the tricky pillar room. So you kill Bowser in 5 shots, and then yeah, it just skips the cutscene. Mario walks straight to Toad every time, so there's the time save there. Bowser dies in 5 shots. Sometimes it can be less because Bowser actually has 2 hitboxes, and if a fireball happens to hit both on the same frame, you deal double damage. So if he ever dies in less than 5, that's why. So in this stage, I actually made an awesome discovery here, completely on accident. I was doing just a normal speedrun of this level. Well, just a normal speedrun of the game. And, you know, you hit this vine. Sometimes it happens when you're just messing around, but so you hit the vine, and then I stomped on this guy. He went that way, and then all of a sudden this thing was gone. So I don't know how no one ever found this, but yeah, if you hit that vine, it actually occupies the sprite slot for the rest of the stage, and then you hit that Koopa to the right, and there's enough sprites on screen then to despawn the flag. It works every time, and it's super easy to do. Not until like 2021 where I accidentally did that did we know it was a thing. And it saves like 0.7 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for 2D Mario, that's a lot of time. Anyway, this stage has a wall jump in it, which is super hard, so we're going to not do that, but I think that strat looks cooler anyway. If you hit the corners of blocks in this game, you kind of sometimes get pushed back from it, so you can use that to your advantage, get pushed back to the left and instantly get running speed and come back up. Only saves, or loses like a second over the wall jump strat, but wall jump is like a couple frame perfect inputs, and if you miss it, you die. So we're not going to do that in the marathon setting, obviously. That would not be smart. So yeah, a lot of these levels have like cheeps, and now if you route the game for like PB attempts or world record attempts, you can pretty much know everything that's going to happen in the run. But in a marathon setting like this, I don't. So I have to react to any level that would have like RNG and quotes on the fly. So got to keep that in mind. And then, yeah, the castles in this game are very tricky. They love these tight corridors. But when you've done it enough, you can navigate it pretty easily. But they just get harder and harder. We're only in World 2. Oh, that Podoboo was close. Alright, that was a really good 2-4, actually. So yeah, in 3-1 we get to chill a little bit, and then we get our first water level. And water levels kind of suck in this game, just because there's so many enemies in there and tight corridors, and it's hard to not get hit sometimes. Especially, again, when you don't know what the enemy patterns will be. But we'll worry about that when we get there. So just in case, you gotta duck here, because that bullet can shoot you in the face, and you don't want that. Alright, good 3-1, and then here's our first water level coming up, and yeah, I'll just gotta react to the patterns. I'll slow down if I need to. I have my fire, so I can shoot them out of my way, but yeah, it can get a little annoying sometimes, but luckily this is the easiest water level out of them all. But you will see, like, 2 more in, like, what's considered the normal stages. There's a fun World 9 that you'll get to see that maybe not many people have seen. And I'll definitely explain that when we get there, but look forward to World 9, I'll just say that. It's very unique. But yeah, I'll mainly just mash, swim, try to stay to the top. Like, this cheap's in my way, so I'm gonna slow down and fireball it. That's just... it is what it is, as they say. You know what, because I'm set up for something here, I'm gonna wait at the flagpole here and showcase something cool about this game. Although I'll have to wait quite a while, just because of where I did it. But, so you can get 1-ups on flagpoles, which is pretty fun. If your coin count is a multiple of 11, so, you know, 11, 22, 33, etc., and then you get the digit to match on the timer, so I waited for a 4 there, you get a 1-up on the flagpole. And it's just a very interesting thing that exists that you probably wouldn't know. Also got him. You can kick a Koopa shell and it deflects back off screen all the way to kill that Koopa, and I just love that kill. It's very swaggy. Luckily 3-3 isn't... oh, well, I'm gonna get more fireworks. See, that's what I mean. Sometimes you're just not paying attention and you get your fireworks. But 3-4 here has a very precise jump I can go for. You need to do a very just precise duck jump immediate. You don't want to be ducking for too long. I'll go for it. It doesn't matter if I miss it, but in world record attempts, you like to hit it. Luckily, I'm good, so I hit it. So yeah, that's like not an easy jump to hit. And then we take care of Bowser. Alright, that was a good 3-4. I'm glad that worked out at least. And then World 4 is pretty simple. 4-4 is scary, for sure, so you can look forward to that. But 4-1, 4-2, pretty simple levels. Not too much going on there. So we get to, at least we get a little section of the game here to chill out a little bit. We definitely need it, because this game can be very stressful, because it is very difficult to get good runs going in this game sometimes. And after World 4, the difficulty just continues to rise, and you really have no time to chill anymore, so... we love World 4 for what it does. So, yeah, not much to talk about in World 4. Again, pretty simple. As long as you know where to jump, nothing is gonna get in your way. It's kind of like that in SMB1 as well. 4-1 being one of the easier levels in that run. But in 4-3 here, we'll get some more random bullet bills, and I'll have to react to them on the fly. Sometimes they can just be immediately in the way, and it sucks. I'll employ a safety strat here where I hesitate slightly to try to give myself more time to react. And it would also avoid a really, like, tough bill that could potentially happen later in the stage. So I'm gonna slow down here. Oh, whee! Alright, this is interesting. Let's just make sure I can do this. Okay. The bill was in the worst spot. That was close. And then I kind of messed up what I was trying to do, but it was kind of cool that I like bounced on it and then saved it. That was a cool save, because I thought I was going to die there, so. I'm glad it all worked out. Now here's a scary castle, so I'll definitely focus here, but the boss, where Bowser is, it's just, there's a little too much going on in that area. And then it's really hard to navigate this section optimally sometimes. Alright, let's see how this goes. Oh man, okay. That Podoboo was super low. Sometimes the Podoboos can go so low that you can't go under them, and you want to in that section because that's kind of the only way to do that section optimally. So I'm glad that worked out because it could have easily not. Now here we have some loads. So the FDS, you know, they're played on discs, so there's some loading times in between certain sections, so it can load the rest of the content. So that's what that was. So loads can vary depending on the platform you're playing on, so we actually remove them from the speedrun if you're like submitting to the leaderboard. Oops. Okay, here's our first instance of wind here, so makes Mario go a little faster, and because I bonked it actually, the wind is very interesting sometimes where if you like bonk at all it becomes inconsistent and doesn't push Mario as far as it should. There's probably technical details, I don't know them very well, but I will try to hit this. There we go. So there's a super jump. So you know, giant wall, how do you get up there? There's some invisible blocks that you're supposed to climb up, but with the way they changed the physics of colliding with enemies, you can super bounce all the way up in one swift movement. It's super cool. Alright, 5-2. So this is a little calm before the storm. It's not too bad, but the end of World 5 and definitely getting into the end of World 6 gets a little hectic, but I think this level looks pretty neat. Here, I'll go for a fun trick here. Aw, so close. So, there's obviously the flagpole glitch. If you know this game at all, you probably heard of it. Many frame-perfect inputs just to clip into the base of the flagpole and skip the animation. Barely saves any time, but might as well go for it. So this, we're gonna bounce on this guy to get up here. So this is actually a level that loops forever unless you go in that pipe. And then we have some more bullet bills, so I'm gonna have to react. Ah, I didn't get my running speed. That's unfortunate. I got the worst possible bill you can get there. And I tried to play it, but I would have overshot, so I had to slow down a little bit. And then I didn't get my running speed back, which means death. So that's how this game goes sometimes. Hopefully next time it won't be as bad. It will be a little harder to navigate while small, so... Hello? Okay, that's a much better bullet pattern. So yeah, that's just how this game goes sometimes, especially in a marathon setting. It's very hard to react, so... And I'm actually surprised I almost hit that, but did not get the running speed back. So I'm going to be small for a little bit. And then this is a level where I'll just have to slow down a bit for the random patterns, because I don't know what's gonna happen here. But we should be fine. And then because I'm small, I can actually run down here, which looks fun. You don't see... Ooh, a forward Bowser. We love that. If he jumps forward, you can run under him every time, so... We love when he does that. Okay. There's a mushroom I can get here at the start. It takes a little bit of time, but I want to get it because there's something I want to hit here in this stage. And having the mushroom makes it a lot easier, so I'll just take the time to grab it. You can also... Oh, I missed it, so... If I have to get another one, I'll explain it again. But anyway, there's a pipe here coming up. We're just gonna pretend it doesn't exist. I promise I'm not using hacks. Hello. So, what happened was there's an invisible block next to the pipe. And invisible blocks have some weird properties in this game where if you, like, go into where the invisible block is, suddenly, like, wall collision to the right of it doesn't exist. And you can just clip right through it. It's very interesting. Little funny oversight. So instead of having to somehow navigate over that pipe, you can just clip through it as if it's not even there. Now here's one of the more scarier levels, just because swimming, and again, the random patterns that come with swimming. So I'll implement something we call duck swimming. If you crouch while on the ground and then swim, my hitbox is now cut in half. I'm essentially Small Mario, so you can see Mario's head clipping through the ground there. Super useful for navigating the tight sections here. So if it looks like I should have died, duck swimming. So if I had fire, this glitch still works, but I wouldn't be able to shoot fireballs because the game thinks you're crouching and you can't shoot fireballs while crouching. So you have to like decide the trade-off. Do you rather want fire or the lesser hitbox in runs? And runners choose which one depending on the situation, but didn't have the option there. I can pick up power-ups here. It's just a little scary because we have some more cheeps here who love to fly around randomly and destroy your career. But I'll try my best. Can't really get that one. That one's in a tough spot. I did not mean to slow down that much. Okay, but there's this one here. Oops. Hello, cheeps. Alright, we should be back in business now. Just gonna wait on these cheeps because, again, not much else I can do about it. But there's a fun strat I can do here. So 6-4 will be a maze level where you have to take the right path or it loops endlessly. But I'm actually gonna run far enough where I trigger the correct path, but then go back because there's gonna be this fire bar in my way. So I'm gonna navigate back now. Oh, I missed my jump. Okay. But yeah, you can beat the fire bar, and then it saves a little bit of time than waiting for it. But I did trigger the correct way. Oh my gosh, I didn't get my speed again. Alright, I'm just gonna play it safe. I'm having trouble getting up to top speed, clearly. That jumps hard. Potaboo, and then wait on Bowser here. Now he starts throwing hammers. So, makes the fights a lot more difficult to deal with, but luckily you can just run under him. Alright, World 7 is going to be hard without power-ups now, so I need to kind of plan what I'm going to do here. There's a star I can go for and a mushroom. The mushroom, though, takes a bit of time. But just for marathon safety, it might be worth it. Yeah, it's just right here. So I'll go ahead and wait on that, and then I'll go for the star, which is right here. So that's another thing. Oh, okay. It's going to jump over me. So that's the thing about this game. It's very important to know where all the power-up locations are in a marathon setting, just in case you need to use them for backups. Obviously, if you get hit in a world record attempt, you just reset, but we're not going to do that here. And we get some more fireworks. Luckily, I'm getting the odd number, so I only get 3. 3 loses 1 second, 6 loses 3 seconds, so just 1 second, not a big deal. And then I can get a fire flower here pretty easily. Well, actually, there's this fire... I'm going to wait on this. There's a fire flower here. I'm actually not going to get that one just because I think this other one looks more fun to get. So you got to navigate all the way up here, and then you can just grab it. I don't know. I just think that movement's a lot more entertaining. Then remember to shoot your fireballs here, kill that guy. Watch out for fire bars. Okay, very good. So we're back in business, and then 7-3 is a very interesting level. So there are springs in this game that just launch you into space, and then it takes you like 8 seconds to fall back down. And I have to basically jump from spring to spring in this level with wind. And it makes it very hard because there's things in the way, and if you don't make it all the way, you can just fall to your death. And if you slow down at all, wind becomes inconsistent, and you can't make it as far as you usually can. So it's just very, very tricky stages, but this should work, so. Yep, alright, we're good on this one. And then we just run off and can bounce on that guy. Alright, this is going to be a very hard castle, so I'll focus up here, but there's a lot of clips I can get, and then some tight navigation to get past some of these fire bars. So yeah, I'll just focus up here, because I really want to try to keep my fire for World 8. Alright, got the first one. Alright, good. That navigation there is very hard to pull off sometimes. And then this is the hardest part. Alright, let's just wait here. Screwed that up a little bit, and I'd rather be safe than sorry. Oh my gosh, okay. Let's calm down a bit, game. Alright. I'm glad that went fairly well. If you play that level like perfectly, you can beat that like 2 seconds faster. It's actually pretty crazy. Optimal strats in this game are so cool. I definitely recommend checking out like world record level runs of this category because I can't do that in a live setting. But I can do this, so one of the cool things about this game, let me just make sure I set this up, is you can go down upside down pipes, and for some reason that one just sends you further in the stage, and it only works in warpless because it's like remembering a checkpoint from earlier in the game. It's very weird mechanic, but it just looks so cool to clip into an upside down pipe and go down it backwards, and then it warps you. So these are the unique things that you can't see in like Mario 1. And it's just so cool that they even work at all. So here, this is another stage that loops forever unless you take the right path, which is very good. So you want to bounce on that guy and then hit the brick, bounce on him again on the way down and land on that other block so you can get to the vine super quickly. Now we're in the sky. You see Bowser's in the sky. I wonder where else he shows up in that situation, but yeah, 8-3 is cool. It's in the clouds, and then we reach what should be the final castle of the game, but not quite in this run. You'll see Mario maybe float in the air a little bit in this stage. There are bricks, but they blend in with the castle background, so I'm not cheating, I swear. Oh, I am so glad that worked because I messed up, didn't get running speed, and then got it back and barely recognized it, so that was scary. Anyway, speaking of scary, 8-4. A lot of tight jumps here. So, again, I will be focusing up for this. That hit me? That's crazy. Okay. That's fine. I can actually get power-ups back pretty easily in this castle. That's the one nice thing about it. Gotta wait on this fire bar. So there are 2 power-ups I can get here, and I'll try to power up back up to fire. So the first one's here. And then this I have to wait on this plant and very carefully navigate that part. Because if you push, you want to bounce off this edge of the screen. And if you push left too early before you hit the left side of the screen, it like basically just, you stick to it and die every time. And it's very sad, so. Don't want that. This part's going to be tough, but I'll try to... Alright, bound on... Okay, I'm glad I bounced into that guy at least. Yeah. So that's where the other power would be. At least I'm big, so I can do this. So we're just going to run off this and clip in the ground. Hey, Bruce. So yeah, that's again, there's an invisible block there, so there's no collision on the other side. got that clip. That loses time, but it's swaggy, so it's fine. I just want to keep my mushroom here. So that would be the end of the warpless run. 23 minutes. Not my finest work, but in a marathon setting, that is pretty good. World record for warpless is 21:13 right now. That's without loads. So subtract like 4 seconds from my time there, and that's where that would actually be on the leaderboards. So with the mistakes in there, honestly, that's pretty good. And we're still very much underestimate right now. If I have a perfect end game, we're looking at maybe like a 38, 37. So plenty good. Gotta wait for this cutscene here. It takes about a minute, but yeah. This is the end of the game, as it looks like, but they added a little bit more bonus content at the end here. It's not just a second quest. You get like 5 new worlds, and one of them only unlocks if you beat the game warpless, so, which is what I did, luckily, so it works out. But this game has a world 9. It's a fantasy world. They give you 1 life to beat all 4 stages, and they're just super unique. I think they're based on the glitched worlds in Mario 1. Like, you know, you can do like the tennis glitch and unlock some unintended courses, but also we're gonna get some more loads because FDS, but once they load up, you'll see some very interesting stuff here. Just takes a bit of time. There they are. So 9 worlds with 1 game. So if I die, the run's invalid. So let's not die. So yeah, these are very interesting water stages. Alright. So yeah, it just looks like an overworld stage, but it has the water palette, and you can swim. Like, those are supposed to be bricks, but they're coral in a underwater palette. And then I can go for some cool strat here. Oh, close. So I got flagpole glitch there. There are actually 2 different kinds of flagpole glitches you can get. That's kind of what we call a halfie. That's like the normal one you'd see that we do in like Mario 1. That takes like a bunch of frame perfect inputs. It's a lot easier when you're swimming. You just kind of swim at the right time and do it. So that was the half one, but you can get what's a full one. If you know bullet bill glitch in Mario 1, it's that kind of flagpole glitch where you fall to the left of the block and the timer is triggered immediately instead of Mario having to walk to the castle. So I'll have a couple more chances to go for it. I got the half flagpole glitch again. Alright, one more chance to get the full. I really want to get it because it'd be cool to show off both. But unfortunately 9-3 is an overworld stage. Or a castle stage in the overworld. Again, very interesting. And what's funny is the stage is just super free. There's actually a Bowser here. We call him Doug Bowser. But they put that thing up there and then you can just run over him. Well done. Alright, one more chance at the full flagpole glitch. And then we'll go into the challenge worlds. And I'll explain what those are after this stage. So I am still big. So optimally, I want to get hit in this stage. You'll see why in a second. But so it shows like all the enemies in the game. Has some Japanese text. Arigato. We're going to take damage to that blooper there. And just for swag, we're going to go through the exclamation point. Alright, one more chance. Ah, I got the half flagpole glitch every time. That's funny. Oh well. No full flagpole glitch. So I took damage here because this actually repeats forever. So now I'm back in 9-1. So to do the all stages run, you want to die. And then it'll give you a thank you message here. So I'm a super player officially. Let's go. And we hope we'll see you again. Oh, you'll be seeing a lot more of me in this game. If I haven't shown it already. So now, it's going to go back to the title screen. But I'm actually going to hold A and mash start here. And you'll see the title screen briefly and then go away. If you beat the game, every time you beat the game, you get a star on the title screen. If you get 8, you unlock these challenge worlds, which you get to by holding A on the title screen and pushing start. So now these are just brand new, even harder stages, according to Nintendo anyway. Some of them, not all too hard, but a lot of them, they do fit the name. Can't argue that. So this one, I'm going to take it a little safe here, because this staircase is very interesting, so. Yeah, so there are 4 challenge worlds, so you get an extra 16 stages of content after you have beaten the game 8 times, and how many people have beaten the game 8 times back in the day. These worlds are unlocked immediately in the All-Stars version for the Super Nintendo, luckily, so that's what most of us Americans know, so you've probably actually seen the levels, but you had to put in some effort if you wanted to get here in the original release, which is what I'm playing on. A2's not too bad, luckily. Stuff starts ramping up here a little later, but luckily there's still a couple more really cool glitches I get to show off here. They'll be coming up in some of the later stages, but yeah, World A, I'll be getting the mushroom here in A3 and then the fire in A4. So this one's actually in an invisible block, so you gotta know where it is to know it exists at all. There it is. And just gotta try to avoid the cheeps. And, oh, I got the flag despawn, let's go. So there were enough cheeps on the screen where it couldn't load the flag. So I just got free time save. Very good. Getting all the flag despawns in this run. Alright, A4. There's a fun fire flower grab you can do here. That'll work. So, oops. If you're grabbing a power-up, during the animation, if you buffer an A press, so you need to not be holding anything when you grab the power-up and then buffer the input to jump. You can jump in midair out of the power-up grab animation, which is very useful in that situation. That's the fastest way to get that power-up, and then it's useful in like with some other power-up grabs, but that one's very obvious, just to get you onto that platform. B1 here, I'm going to try something. Nah, not even close. So, if you've heard what frame rules are in Mario 1, you can only gain or lose time in 0.35 second increments. And, you know, if you were 1 frame too slow, you lose 20 frames, essentially. In this stage, you're like 1 frame off of the next frame rule, essentially. And if you do what's called a fast accel, where you face left and then accelerate right by doing a very quick amount of frame perfect inputs, you can make up that frame and then just save 21 frames. It's great, but I missed it. Anyway, B2, here's my mortal enemy. Another water stage, but the corridors are ridiculously tight, so you want to duck swim, and enemy patterns are never kind. So yeah. Yeah, so had to wait a little bit there, but that's fine. I'm just going to play this part safe, because that was a little scary looking. Again, I'm duck swimming. I'm going to go up here. I never go up here. And then I did get the Koopa. I'm, again, going to play it safe. Go for another flagpole glitch here. No, that's not going to work. I could tell I jumped a frame early on the staircase. If you've done thousands of flagpole glitches, you can recognize instantly which frame perfect input you messed up. And then B3. So I kind of implemented a strat here that doesn't lose any time and is a lot easier, where you just, instead of playing the level normally, you go to the spring and just kind of skip most of this platforming section. I guess it was assumed it lost time, but it actually doesn't. It's great. Again, shoutouts to frame rules. You can go slow, and sometimes it doesn't matter. I'm going to do a strat here that's a little new to me, but I use in runs now. You buffer a jump at the start, and then I'm going to release, so buffer jump, release B here, repress, and then I'm going to do a full jump bonk into there, and then that should set it up. Yeah, where I get to get that clip every time. So that's sub-pixel manipulation to make that clip work every time, because clips in this game only work on certain sub-pixels, and that one just makes it so it's not luck. It's great. So that was a really good B4. I'm glad that strat worked. So I'm coming up on C1 here, which is actually one of the longest stages in the game, but not the way I'm going to do it. So it's an incredibly long stage. I'm instead going to, oops, let me set this up. It's a little precise. Clip into this pipe, and it's going to teleport me right to the flag. I don't know why that works so perfectly, but it's great. And now things are going to get hard, so again, going to focus up here. I'm going to try to manipulate this blooper out of my way by jumping up. It didn't work, but I didn't get hit, so that's good. And then there's a lot of cheeps here that are really trying to scare me. Okay. All right, we're good. And then here you'll see an instance of some repeat stages. So C3 is actually going to be 7-3 if you remember, which was the spring with the wind level where you're just constantly off screen, except they added a Lakitu, which is a little annoying. So I'm going to try my best to shoot it out of my way on the way coming down from this first spring. So there he is. Got him. All right, very good. Now he won't be a problem. And if you remember 7-4, it was one of the more hard castles in the run. C4 is going to be a repeat, except even harder somehow. So, again, we'll be focusing for that one. But at least we've been keeping our fire so far. Probably, I'm about to eat my words here because C4 sticks to its name. It is a bomb. It will blow up your run, usually, so hopefully it doesn't. All right, got the clip again. Very good. Okay, that was close, but we made it. All right, so I gotta wait on this guy. This is the hard part. Oh, I bonked. I gotta try again. Oh, I'm getting hit. Yeah, that part's super hard to do. So this is going to be a little problematic. World D you really want fire for, just because it's really hard, especially D3. D3 is notoriously one of the just trolly difficult stages. So you really love to have fire for that. So I will not yet. I'll see what strats I'll do. Alright, that was close. There's a mushroom here I can go for at least. I might as well try for it. So that'll be right here. Alright, very good. That went pretty well, actually. That can be problematic sometimes. And then I can get a fire flower in D3. It's just guarded by 5 bullet cannons that can just shoot you at any given moment. So that's the only one problem with that. But D2, funnily enough, is actually a super free stage. I guess they want the calm before the storm, which I can appreciate. So yeah, not much going on here. And then you just got to take the spring, and there we go. Okay, so here's D3. If you know, you know. I will just try to get the fire flower because why not? Might make things easier later, but it is heavily guarded, so we'll see if I can make it through. All right, that'll work. All right, cool. Glad that worked out. So now we can chill a little bit. Oops, messed up my jump there. Slow down here. Alright, we should be in the clear. Even if I get hit here at the end, it's not a big deal. Oh wow, that was a crazy snipe. Okay. Here's the final stage in the game. And if we're fast, we can get sub 40, which is actually pretty good for a marathon run. Can't complain about that. So I'm actually going to take intentional damage right off the bat because there's a fire bar in my way. So we're just going to blast right through. And the only scary thing about that is now I'm going to be small Mario for the rest of the stage. And it is not a very easy stage, but this part looks super scary, but you can do a very consistent jump that works every time. Gotta slow down a little bit here for this plant to get out of the way. It's funny, it's a castle that has an overworld, then an underground, and then you're back in the castle. Alright, and we're coming up on time here, so please get ready on that. Just gotta make a couple more tight jumps. Wait on this Potaboo. And time. Alright. 39. And that's with loads, so without loads on the leaderboard, that would be like a 3840 something maybe, 3850 something. So actually a pretty good showcase of all stages. The world record's a very high 35, and then my PB is a very low 36, so not too bad. Yeah, the warpless, there were a couple minutes of mistakes there, but the A through D section was pretty solid. I can't complain about that. Just a couple of hits, but nothing too serious. So, pretty happy with that showcase. I hope everyone enjoyed it. A lot of unique glitches only in 2J, so I'm glad I got to show all those off. If you want to watch more of me, I will be running this game after Pace a lot more. There's a world record, a couple world records I want to get back in this, so that will be my plans going forward, and yeah, we can just enjoy the finale jingle here with the flashing toads. And I think after this is Mario 64. That's what we're all here for, right? The big LTA tournament, day 1. Let's jump into it. Thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate it as always. See you next time, and enjoy the rest of Pace, everyone.